Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, and today is the most exciting day of the week. We love Tuesdays here because why? Today we're going to be making the pants. The leather pants from the pattern that we made last week. So if you have not already seen that, please go watch that because that pattern you're going to need for everything. When I tell you that pattern is universal. So I will link everything you need down below. I can't exactly link where I got these from because it's like one of those shops. It's like not really a known shop that has a whole website and everything. So I'll just tell you what you're going to need down below in the description box. And it looks so good. It's gonna look so good on your body, and it just hugs everything right. When I tell you it looks so good, I mean, judge for yourself. Judge for yourself, honey. Anyway, without further ado, let's make this baby.
Okay, so we're going to start by pinning our pattern to our fabric. With leather, it leaves permanent indentations and holes, so it's preferable that you either clip your pattern to your fabric or you just put something weighted on your pattern. And then you're gonna cut 2 of each pattern piece, but these 2 have to be mirrored. Please don't forget to mirror these pattern pieces. Just like flip it over once you're done cutting over here. What you see me doing here is just cutting out the excess that was on the side. Over here, we're cutting the back piece. Now, also, please don't forget to cut 2 mirrored pattern pieces over here. See over here how I literally just flip the pattern piece on its back? Yeah, that's what you should be doing. From the waist measurement that you took last week, you're going to add 3 centimeters and then 2 more centimeters for seam allowance. The width of this rectangle is going to be about 8 centimeters because you are going to fold it in half and then it's gonna form a sturdy waistband. These are the stitches you're going to be using.
This is the waistband. I forgot to show you guys. But like, yeah. You fold it right sides together and then sew along the edge, both edges. Then you cut a bit on the corner so you can flip it inside out so it's like nice and clean and crisp. See?
The lining fabric is not as stubborn as the leather fabric, so you can pin your pattern piece to the lining fabric. You will, however, need to note that you're going to need to overlock this because it frays. Now we're cutting out the leather part of the pocket pattern. For some odd reason, I forgot to flip the pattern piece over so I can get a mirrored pattern piece. So I wasted fabric. Oh my god. These are the stitches you're going to be using to sew the pocket pattern. Pin the curved line of the leather part against the curved line of the lining part, right sides together. And don't forget to back tack at the beginning and at the end of your line. When you flip the leather part over, this is what you should have. Now we're going back to the pattern pieces for the pants and we're going to cut out the lining pieces because this is leather and it will be very, very difficult to put on if you don't have the lining. So because of load shedding in South Africa, I tried to save time by burning the edges of my lining so I don't have to hem it. Now we are taking our mirrored pieces and sewing along the center fold all the way until the crotch. You don't have to do this part for the front piece, but it helps just to keep everything stable and together. Again, as I said before, please rather use clips for this leather fabric. I didn't have any clips, so I pinned the pieces together at the very edge of the fabric. Again, we are using a straight stitch to sew this part. So I added this part in just to be vulnerable with you guys and like show you that I make mistakes too. This is me doing the absolute wrong thing. I am pinning the pocket pattern to the back piece and I'm not supposed to do that. And then another thoughtless action where I hemmed the front piece pocket area. Now for what you have to be doing instead of making mistakes, you're supposed to be overlocking around the pocket piece, because the lining frays, as I said before, you're going to use a zigzag stitch to do this. Now you're going to take the free edge of the pocket piece and pin it to the front piece and then straight stitch. Once you're done sewing the curve, you're just going to sew all the way around the pocket. Make sure that the ends of the pocket meet each other so it actually makes a pocket, and then just sew along the side seam. If that didn't make sense, I hope you can see what I'm doing over here. Don't forget that you have to do this twice, so you have to do this for both sides, for both pockets. This is me sewing the other pocket, but it's clearer over here that I used a zigzag stitch so it can act as an overlock. Now you want to take your back piece and your front piece. You're going to put them right sides together and then sew along the middle part all the way down until the hem. And then also on the outsides, you're going to use a straight stitch for all of this. If you're struggling or not quite sure how to sew this middle part, this is how you do it. You're just going to pin the middles together. So these seam lines over here, you're going to pin them together and make sure they're aligned, and then just pin along until the bottom. Y'all see how this leather is fighting me? It is just telling me that I'm not supposed to be pinning it. I am supposed to be clipping it, but I don't have clips and I don't have money to be buying clips. But if you don't have money to buy clips and clip it. Okay, so when I do eventually sew, I start from the middle. You see that very middle that we pinned to begin with? That is where I start my sewing line. And then you just work your way from there. If you didn't sew the center part for the front part, you can skip this part, but if you did, this is where you seam rip. This is a seam ripper, and we are seam ripping because we are about to add our zipper. The zipper that I had was too long, so I had to like fold over the end and like just sew it into place so it's not too long and just weird in the pants. But before we even add the zip, this is the part where you just turn it right side out and try it on. See what is happening. Is it fitting? Is it too big? Is it too small? For me, it was a little too big, so I had to add dots in the back. They were around 2 to 3-ish, maybe maximum 4 centimeters wide. You see how well it already fits. I just need to fix the dot situation. But yeah, now we can sew the zipper on. For my own aesthetic purposes, I took a piece of fabric and measured how long this part in the middle is, and then cut it out with a bit of seam allowance because I wanted that sort of jean effect where there's a flap of fabric that kind of like hides the zipper. You're going to fold it over like this and then sandwich it between the zipper and the fabric. As you can see, I sewed this flap of fabric first just so everything is sturdy. So you see it's the pants, the flap of fabric, and then the zipper on top of that. Why? Because when you flip it over, the zipper is going to be underneath all of that. Now just pin along the edge and then sew along that very edge, making sure that all of these edges fit together. If you have this sewing machine as well, please be patient with it. You're gonna need a lot of muscle when trying to do this because this sewing machine is not made for such big tasks. I'm trying to push the sewing machine as much as possible, but you're going to have to zip and zip, zip and zip until you get like the right sort of measurement and get the line done. Here we're doing the same thing we did, but now for the other side of the zip. Remember, right sides together. This time there is no flap of fabric. You should pin it in the same way you did the other side and then sew along this edge. And now it's time to try the pants on again. You need to keep trying them on just to make sure they still fit, they're still good, and yeah. the size of this pocket, guys. Now you want to pin your lining pieces to this garment and then just sew zigzag along the edges. This includes the center fold where the zip is, and also under the pocket area where the leather is, along the side seam, down to the bottom of the hem, and so on and so forth. Oh, my baby, look how much she's struggling, shame. Oh man, yeah, if you can afford a more expensive, better like sewing machine, okay, not better, but like a bigger sewing machine, do you get that? Because you're gonna struggle with this one. Okay, this is where I am putting my dot in. It is better to just put your dot in like after you've sewn everything, and I was trying to find the midpoint and it was 17, and then the middle of that was obviously 8.5. So I just marked that point, and then I went down about 10 centimeters, so the dot was 10 centimeters long and about 3 or 2-ish centimeters wide. You're going to do this for the other side as well. Remember that a dot is a triangular shape, so the top part is going to be the 3-ish, 2-ish centimeters, and it's going to go down to that point, that 10 centimeter point. And to sew this dot, we're just going to use a straight stitch, keeping that line as straight as possible. If it is not entirely straight, you'll get weird gapping and weird sort of indentations. So please, please, please ensure that it is straight. Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention? We've achieved 3D. Just try it on and see how it fits you now. Now for the waistband. With the waistband, you're going to align the seam allowance line or the seam line that you made with the edge of your zipper. You're going to open it. It's going to have to be inside out so you can place the right side to the right side of the pants. When holding up the waistband alone, you see that it has two sides. The side that is closest to you is the side that you're going to sew onto the pants right now. Make sure the other side does not touch so that we can flip it over like this and pin it so we can top stitch. This means I'm going to sew along that front line but very, very close to the line. Okay, this is me struggling to put this thing on, but essentially it is like a screw sort of situation at the bottom and then the button itself, and you're supposed to just like hammer it into place, but it kept on doing weird things. Anyway, so here are the pants, here how they look. Hope you like them.
So guys, that's all for today's video. I hope you had as much fun as me making these pants. Like, it was such a journey, and it's definitely like a step away from the usual stuff I've been doing, like the satiny stuff, the crop tops and everything. Like, that's quite simple to make. Obviously, I'm a beginner, so, and this is a beginner friendly channel, so we're all growing together and like making things happen, man, you know, because shit don't fit. I'm sorry to swear, but like stuff, this is coming from a model. nothing fits anyone these days, and I feel like it's so important to have the skill to like be able to sew your own clothes, be able to make your own clothes, be able to like just have that sort of thing in your pocket, have that in your skill set, and you're good, you know? Thank you so much for watching today's video. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will be back next week with another video. Goodbye! I win. If I can have you, no one share I make you my ex, not the best idea. Let's talk about love than I've ever seen. My neighbors hate me, I'm sure of it. I am certain. I forgot to record the whole beginning part, but you know it's fine. Don't forget to subscribe and give me some suggestions.